And welcome, everyone, to another edition of the Bart Curtis Show. We apologize for being absent last week, but there are a number of situations that arose where we just couldn't get together and get things taped and put all together for the show. So we'll make this a little bit of a special Bart Curtis Show, and we'll start out briefly talking about, 2 weeks ago, the Tigers went up to the Pantherland, and we talked about it in the show before, and Northwood will always play you tough, nose to nose and toes to toes, and the score proved out as the Panthers came out on top by a score of 22-21, Coach. What a hard-fought, outstanding high school football game.
It was, Dave, and one thing that we try to resonate is this activity these kids play, the activity that we coach. You always end up about with what you deserve, and I don't think that we didn't play hard. I do not think that we played well. Again, we had untimely penalties. You look at the first drive. We stop them. They get a couple first downs. We stop them. We take the ball all the way down inside the 25, and we've got a 4th and 1, and we jump. We flinch.
Right.
So now instead of 4th and 1, it's 4th and 6. And we don't convert. And then we're down 14-7 at half. We come out, we take the next two series, and we punch it in. We punch it in after the first. We recover an onside kick. We're up 21-14. We score after the onside kick, and then we actually had the ball 2 additional times with a 7-point lead and didn't take care of business, and Northwood did, and they played awfully hard. They made fewer mistakes than we did. We had some untimely personal foul penalties, which will just get you beat. I mean, you're paying for real estate twice.
Right.
And we're not good enough to overcome that. And, they made a heads-up play on their 2-point conversion. Otherwise, we still might be playing. Might be 20-20 into the 28th overtime. Who knows?
Right.
But, credit goes to Northwood, Coach Andrews, and their kids. They came out, and they're going to be a handful come tournament time in 4A. I can assure you of that.
Yeah, they always do. And, good programs, and Northwood, of course, being one of those kind of programs, they get stronger and better as they move through their season. There's no question about it. They do gear up for the tournament run. I mean, several years ago, they had a losing record, go in and win the state championship off of it. So that's just the sign of an outstanding program, and that's what they are. Okay, Coach, at that point, the Tigers still had a Northern Lakes Conference championship in their grasp, and that brings us, last Friday night, the Concord Minutemen come into Warsaw, and the Tigers come out on top and claim an NLC championship, the first one we've had since 2001, Coach. It was a glorious evening.
I'm looking at your plaque over there and trying to figure out what year that was.
Well, that would have been 2001, but...
So that thing is 19 years old and then some change.
Yep.
And, the one that we earned Friday night was hard fought. And it wasn't just one night. This was a culmination of a lot of nights.
Sure.
Plymouth, Mishawaka, Northridge, Goshen, Wawasee, even Northwood. You learn and you get better from games that don't go your way. And then we were able to play well enough, Dave, Friday night. Now, we made it interesting, like we always do. Nothing's easy.
Right.
Nothing. There is absolutely nothing. There are 2 things I found out. Nothing's easy.
Right.
And we don't handle prosperity real well. And I've mentioned that before.
About that. Mm-hmm.
And there's a reason we don't compliment our kids till the banquet.
Right.
And, they know that. They get that. They play better when they have a little edge to them.
Oh, I agree.
They play better and are more productive when they are uncomfortable.
Yeah.
They play better when the team that they are playing they perceive as a threat. And, it was a really good evening. I thought we played particularly well defensively. Gave up a post for one of the scores.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how many times Concord threw last night or the Friday night.
38 times. They completed 17 for 265 yards.
Because they were just all over the field with it.
They were, and they're all juniors. So what you saw Friday, you're going to see a better version of in 2021. I mean, they're well coached.
Absolutely.
I thought they played particularly well defensively. They were a handful. They stood us up a few times.
Right. Well, and I thought offensively, though, I mean, the offensive line did their job. Obviously, Juan got over 100 yards. Green had some great yardage, some great plays. And, of course, there was some nice blocking going on that saw some passes completed for touchdowns.
Yeah. Aaron was 3 for 3 for 2 touchdowns, and that's about where we'd like to be every Friday night.
Sure.
Now, you can't just dial that up. I'm not a wizard. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you what 2 weeks is going to look like.
Sure.
But I can tell you that's about where we want to be. And what a great call from up top from the young Jedis up there.
Yeah.
I call them, we're sitting at 4th and 4 from our own 44-yard line.
Yeah.
And, in my mind, the younger version of me that have been a punt situation without hesitation.
Sure.
You're up 21-17, but, that's not who we are. That's not what we do.
Right.
And when the call came down, I thought, okay, I don't know if I even want to watch this. But I did. I keep my eye on the kid that is going to make the difference of who we throw to.
Right.
So I'm watching the corner bails for the wheel. We had a rocket toss fake, and Luke Adamek ran a great skinny post pattern, and
that pass was right on.
Was wide open, right on, and it turned
beautiful.
into. Then it goes from 21-17 to 28-17.
Right.
We get the ball back, drive it down, and then Luke Adamek makes another one of a Luke Adamek catch. I mean, that's all you can say.
Right.
Here's the kind of night he had. He was our leading tackler. He had 5 solos, a couple assists, intercepted a pass on defense, and then just for good measure on offense, he threw some nice blocks and caught 2 touchdown passes. So that's a pretty good night for a senior on senior night.
Absolutely. Well, just a little side story. Of course, when he was a freshman, we had him as, and I was on the freshman coaching staff, and we knew he was special because he could catch as a freshman coming right out of 8th grade, he could catch anything. And so I was chatting with him one day and giving him a few nuggets of wisdom about leadership. But I said, I got to tell you, son, I've never seen anyone your age catch the football the way you catch the football, and he does.
It is.
It's kind of phenomenal.
It is amazing that, when we get, I saw it in Northridge.
Yeah.
When we were kind of stuck in the mud, we had a 4th and 13.
Right.
And he bails us out right before half against Goshen. He caught a halfback pass.
Right.
Stat, and I'm not a huge stat guy, although I find them fascinating. He has caught 27 passes in 4 years.
Yeah.
9 of them have gone for touchdowns. So 1 out of 28, 1 out of every 3 of his receptions are touchdowns.
Yeah.
So, he is.
He's gifted.
He really is. He took a trip up to Trine University on that Wednesday when the seniors could job shadow. And we were given the PSAT, and there's a place out there.
There's a place for
him without a doubt. If that's what he decides to do,
he wants to do it. Yeah.
There's no doubt. And he had a special night on senior night.
Yeah. And it was a great night across the board for all of our seniors. And I thought they all stepped up and played, to their potential there. Obviously there's more potential, but nevertheless, to take that challenge, they knew they had to win the game in order to claim the conference championship. And they went out there with the yeoman's attitude, and that's the way they did it, I thought. That's how I felt about it.
I agree with you, Dave. And like I said earlier, the higher the stakes, the more uncomfortable we make these young men, the better they perform.
Right.
It's just how that is. And when I walk in on Saturday morning and I say, hey, nice job last night, I need to remember that, that they operate better under pressure. uncomfortable, and when what they feel is a threat to their program, they
react.
They do.
better.
They react.
Yeah.
They react in a fight or flight mentality.
Right. Well, I reference always the quote that you use when we were at Michigan City a year ago from Kennedy about, the reason we wouldn't go to the moon is not because it's easy, because it's hard. Well, what we do here and what's being done here, it's hard.
We don't make anything easy. That's
Right.
for sure.
Yeah.
And you look at our 15. There were 17 seniors. We've got one that didn't get to participate because he's quarantined for contact tracing.
Right.
We've got another one whose girlfriend just had a baby, and he was in the hospital with her.
Right.
So we honored 15 seniors. 3 of them are on the O-line.
Sure.
One's our quarterback, Aaron Green. Patty Zollinger at halfback. Our O-lineman, Jacob Hahn, Dallas Anders, Isaac Leach, and then our split ends, Luke Adamick, who's also played some defense.
Right.
That's 6. I got to do a good job of this. Mason Martz at safety, Caden
Right.
Sylvius, a 3-year starter as well at corner. Zach DeFord, who had an interception at linebacker.
Yeah, he did. I believe that was his first.
It probably was. I was
Yeah.
teasing him Saturday morning. I said, "You've come a long way from that 220-pound offensive guard." I remember when I first took this job.
Really?
Came out in swim trunks to the first summer conditioning. And then up front, Andres Adame.
Yeah.
Juan Adamilo, obviously our fullback. That's 11.
Yeah.
Jaheim Coleman, who couldn't be with us. Andres Adame. Who am I missing?
No, you're talking to those.
Jason Garcia,
Yeah.
that's 14. I don't want to forget anybody, but I'm going to.
That's what happens when you start a list.
Zach Ransbottom,
Ransbottom, yeah.
who's suffered some injuries this
Yes.
year. That's 15.
Yeah.
Oh,
Not.
Colton Wampler, our kicker
yeah.
and our punter.
Yep.
And Andrew Drake, who is our kicker and punter. So,
Right.
that's 17. If I forgot any of you, I apologize, but
Yeah. And I think
That's not bad.
And I think you did a great job,
Good
Coach.
job.
That's an outstanding job. Coach, we got a week off, and that's a good thing because it gives us, we get to heal up and just, kind of reset.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to reset because we're going into this Fort Wayne sectional, and Carroll's in there, Homestead's in there, and Snyder's in there, and none of those guys are cakewalks. There's nothing easy about any of that.
there isn't, and it's good. 6A football,
Yeah.
and Fort Wayne football is good football. And they have a great deal of talent. We have just started looking at the tapes and breaking down what we believe are their strengths and whatnot. And they put an awful lot of points up on the board.
Yeah.
And they've got nice size. Mm-hmm. They have a nice combination of throwing and running. And their D line is good. I mean, they're just a sound football team, and well coached.
Yeah.
So our kids are aware of that. They're not stupid.
No.
And we're going to have 2 great weeks of practice.
Yeah.
To be in the thing, and fortunately we're at home.
Right, I'm glad for that too.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it beats the alternative.
Absolutely.
So we're looking at, we've divided. I've always used the bye week, even when I was at Mishawaka with it, because at 5A we had some byes some years, where Monday we're going to come out, and we'll probably be in helmets and girdles tomorrow.
Right.
And do a lot of individual drill type things.
Right.
Tuesday will be an emphasis on the kicking game and a lot of individual drill. Wednesday morning we'll come in before the kids take off for break, and we'll have a solid practice, introduce what we believe is game plan A for the offense and the defense. And then our kids will leave, we'll leave. We're off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then we'll come back Saturday and practice and have a team brunch.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure you'll be at.
I can almost guarantee it. Coach, it's been a thrill. the kids claimed a sectional championship last year, took care of the western half. Now we got to come over and take care of the eastern half. We've claimed a NLC title now. So are things going kind of in the long-term game plan the way Bart Curtis thought they would go when you came into Warsaw or not?
I'm not as patient as what I'd like to be, and there's a part of me that thinks, hey, we had our shots at 2 other NLC titles and didn't take care of business, and a lot of that wasn't because of us. A lot of it was because of who we were playing.
Right.
And to get through this conference schedule with what we played in week 1 and 2, Huntington and the Michigan City. Mm-hmm. And to get through the conference schedule with 1 loss says a lot for our kids.
Absolutely.
Obviously, we'd like to have no losses, but we can't go back and take away 10 days ago.
Right.
Now, as the overall program, there are some things that I think that we are forging ahead with that we're actually ahead of.
Yeah.
I think execution offensively is further along, although it doesn't seem like it at times, is further along than maybe what I thought it would be.
As you reflect back on some of the other programs,
Year 2 and year 3.
Yeah.
Although we're far from perfect on that. I think that one of the things we need to really grow in and hiring Drew Childress as our strength and conditioning coordinator
huge.
Was absolutely huge, but we've got to get bigger and stronger.
Yeah.
I think we're good technicians.
Yeah.
I think we lack size and strength.
Yeah. I agree with that completely.
And we've got some speed and athleticism, but when we're playing speed and athleticism that's stronger and more aggressive and maybe a bigger,
it gives a little bit of an edge.
Yeah, it gives them the nudge.
Yeah.
Commitment-wise, I think we're really close. That we've still got some parents that don't get it, that want to intervene for their kids, and I understand it. My prized my prized possessions are my kids.
Sure.
And they're not possessions. They're they're the greatest gift that God has given you.
Right.
Is children and family. And so I understand wanting to jump in the gap and let the coaches know every little detail about your son, or hey, we've got this appointment on this day, and my response is generally back a very polite email is, has your son talked to his head coach yet?
Right.
Well, aren't you the head coach? Yes, I am. Have your son talk to the head coach. That's how we want young men to become men and deal with their own stuff, so the parents aren't dealing with them when they're 35.
Right. So.
But I think we're forging ahead. But it's something that needs to be retaught every year, and that's my fault. I take that for granted sometimes.
Yeah. Well, and as you look down the program here, we had the junior highs playing each other, both at 7th and 8th grade level. It was all Warsaw playing for their little conference championships.
And there's some big kids
and there's
in
some,
that 8th grade class.
There are.
Some talent.
Yep.
And 7th grade's going to be fine as well.
Yeah.
One of the things that, we were talking about parents earlier, I would say 90%, 95% have gotten on board 100%. And have turned their kids over to us and said,
giving us that responsibility.
Yes, we are turning our kids over to you, and we trust that you are going to do right by our child in practice. And, I think that's a positive, because there's this excitement. There's an excitement here in Warsaw.
I agree.
For football. There's an excitement by the parents. They've left us alone and let us do our jobs.
Bought into it.
They have, and one of the things that's neat is our Moms Club. Like Saturday when we had the Young Tiger Day.
Yeah.
We had all the young tigers out here yesterday. I didn't have to do a thing. I could come in and watch film.
Right.
I could go out and check on the concessions, the ticket booth, whatnot. I didn't have to do a thing.
Yeah.
None of my coaches had to do a thing because the parents take care of the stuff.
Yeah. And that's huge.
It is. And they run the concessions. They help us make money.
Yeah.
And it's just been a real positive experience here at Warsaw.
Yeah. Well, and people, of course, I run around town. I don't have teaching duties anymore and stuff, and then people talk to me and stuff.
Right now you don't.
Right now I don't. That's right.
Still early.
But anyway, it's like people, of course they talk to me, they know my association with the football program and stuff, and it's just like, I'm telling you, and I get 100% agreement, you know, your son is going to be a better football player, but way beyond that, they're going to be a better human being for all kinds of reasons. They're going to be taught responsibility, accountability. They're going to be taught to work hard, to achieve, and they're working hard and that kind of thing. And that's just all the ancillary things that go along with, of course, winning football games, which is, you know, very important to us too. So.
It is, but it's not the end all.
No, it's not.
You know, we never talk about winning. We never talk about the final score.
Right.
We mourn or we celebrate based on what that final scoreboard says. But
Right.
I've tried to make this a very process-driven program, and we do that most of the time.
Yeah.
We expect our kids to do the right things, make good decisions, take care of their own locker, take
Right.
care of their brother's locker if their brother isn't taking care of their locker.
Right, sure.
Be responsible. Show up every day on time.
Right.
Sit in the front of the classroom. Don't act like an idiot in class.
Right, right.
Turn your work in. Now, not everybody's perfect at that. They're 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old kids.
Sure.
I'm not perfect at that by a long stretch.
I,
you know?
as I remember back, nor was I. So.
But it is, you know, we try to focus on progress, not perfection. There was only one perfect human being,
Right.
and you know, he passed away, you know, over 2,000 years ago.
Right.
But we want our kids to prepare in a perfect manner.
Absolutely.
You know, not necessarily accept the fact that, hey, we're not perfect, but the goal is to have perfect preparation, perfect practices, perfect
Right.
execution. And maybe one of these days we'll hit a game like that. You never know.
Well, Coach, thanks for being with us today. And conference champions, everyone's really proud of that. We got more work to do. We got some time here to get ready and prepare for the Carroll Chargers, and they'll be coming into Warsaw on the 30th of October, and hopefully we can have a Halloween surprise for them.
Well, we're going to take it one practice at a time, and when October 30th comes, I know we'll be prepared. They'll be prepared.
Absolutely.
We'll roll out there and see what happens when the Chargers meet the Tigers.
Absolutely. Well, thanks again, Coach. Congratulations on the conference championship. And we'll be back with more of the Bart Curtis Show right after this.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.